And we are live.
Yay!
Yay! Welcome to the Otter's Den. The Forgotten Serial Killer Chronicles. All right, I am going to share this out real quick. So how was your day, girl, while we're waiting for people to pop on quick?
It wasn't terrible. I mean, it could have been worse.
Cool.
We got the full moon on the horizon, so
Absolutely. Couple nights. I think things are going to get a little bit better after that.
yes, hopefully these headaches will get better after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, might take up to 3 days after the full moon, but I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna help a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay, there's that one. Got one more to do. There's that one. Hey Renee, hey Jolene, how you doing tonight? I'm sharing. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Unless it's something not fun, then keep it to yourself.
Well, that's a given.
Hi, ladies.
I'm gonna try something. I'm not only gonna share this to my friends, I'm gonna share it to the public.
Woo!
Let's see what happens there.
What a good night to do it on.
All right, I have got to figure. I'm gonna give me another camera, specifically for this because I don't like the camera on my laptop. The light, I can't get the lighting right. It's just not. And I don't know how it looks to everybody out there, but to me, it's just there's too much white.
Well, maybe if you got like a desktop lamp versus your overhead, it wouldn't wash you out so much from the top.
That very well could be.
Or if you get some sort of cloth and kind of put it over it, that could work too.
Could unscrew a bulb.
Oh no, he's looking for a ladder.
I'll be right back. Stay table.
We are all bearing witness to Keith's shenanigans.
Little better. Hey, that's just about right height. I'm gonna sit on Grandma and Grandpa's stool. This is actually their little step stool. It's one of the old timey ones, antique ones. I tore it all the way down, cleaned everything, got the chrome legs, all the paint off the chrome legs, repainted everything, and it's in the office.
You are so much more driven than I am.
Well, it took me years to get it done. I made a table in high school, and I finally got it done last year. I'm 50. All I had to do was sand it down and stain it, put some varnish on it. And I finally got that done last year. So every once in a while, I get a little gumption going, and I get an old project done. That's kind of what I'm doing right now, is something I've been meaning to do for a long time. I'm getting done. I'm almost there. I got one more tote to go through, disperse what needs to go where, and there we go.
Yeah.
Feeling it right there too. So, my sister, my girl, what do you got for us tonight? Because, ladies, gentlemen, if any gentlemen pop on later, I don't even know tonight who she's going to discuss. I'm like, nope, don't tell me. She's like, no, I'm not this one. You got to guess just like everybody else. So I am coming into this just as blind as everybody else.
Yay. We have a bit of a double tonight.
A double.
A
Ooh,
double.
Ear went off.
2 separate cases.
Okay.
Of course, I'm getting situated in my granny chair again.
7-Eleven, by the way.
I forgot my cushion, so you know how I'm going to be feeling tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so first, I'm not going to give clues to this one necessarily, but I'm going to pay homage to my hometown. Give a little respect to a couple of folks that I knew. And
Okay.
also, this is connected into my former place of business.
Business.
Business, good. So, I was with this company for 8 years before, we had a mutual parting. Still really love this company. Like, we have a great respect.
8.
Oh, yeah, 8 years.
8 pops out right away.
What's funny about that is when I started at this company, I was on bed rest because I was pregnant with Virginia. I was on bed rest 4 months before I had her. So I left my previous job at that time. They just weren't real courteous. So I was on bed rest, all the way up till I had her, and I had gotten a lifetime opportunity to get an interview with this company. And they're like, "Hey, when can you start? Because your resume is just phenomenal and we want you now." And I'm like, "Great, I can start Monday." And the gal's like, "Well, didn't you just have a baby? Like, usual maternity leave is like 6 to 8 weeks, right?"
Yeah.
I had only been, Virginia was only 4 weeks old. I said, no, I'm ready.
I believe it.
I was so ready to get back to work. But, so, in the position that I held with this company, I was your jack of all trades, master of none, or most, as most people call it, because I was like the it girl.
Sure.
So you build relationships with clients, you get to know their personal story, and it kind of touches base with, our previous conversations, which is probably why I felt like I needed it to have some mention.
Okay.
There was a 60-year-old gal. Her name was Carmen. This woman is the definition of unconditional love. Never give up on your children, and to explain, her son, who think he was 34, don't quote me.
Okay.
Because I can remember her. I don't remember a whole lot of him.
Right.
Anyways, a bit back, not all that long ago. She went in. Son was having a really rough time. He's schizophrenic. I'm not going to disclose names because honestly, that could get me into a lot of trouble. HIPAA
Sure.
violations in the pharmacy world. I just can't do that.
Yep.
However, he was schizophrenic. She was going in to get his medicine. In fact, they both walked in to the pharmacy, got medications, walked out. They'd gotten to the car, and he pulled out a knife and murdered her in their parking lot.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was said that at that point, he had switched, to an alternate personality. And in fact, while he's imprisoned, he actually does not recall killing his mother.
Really?
Yep. He doesn't know why he's there. So it's a really sensitive kind of case. Very interesting. A few years previous, and when I was working there, this is how I came to advocate for this, this family, and really help the mom try to find some solutions for financial costs with medication, because those things are expensive.
Oh, absolutely.
She had actually had a run in. He lived at home, but he had switched personalities another time a few years back. and actually bound her up and gagged her and put her in a plastic tote. Another child had found her. At that point, she had put a no contact kind of restraining order on him. But again, as being a mother, she wanted nothing more than to help him.
Right.
And ultimately, it's kind of what it led to, unfortunately. So that is my first one.
Okay.
Cases, case for this one is still pending. Obviously, I'm going to kind of watch as it progresses, get more details, as it all unfolds.
Sure.
I'll be right there in the thick of it, as I always am.
Right.
But to get to my whopper of a doozy, drum roll, please. We have another Libra. Now, I'm going to be very sketchy on some of these details. He's a Libra. He is a he, obviously. Our killer comes in at 205 pounds. He's about 5'10", so he's quite tall. He's a big man.
Yeah.
He does have a schizophrenic diagnosis.
Okay.
He started his career very, very young in Illinois. So there's clue number one. Besides his height and his weight and all of that great stuff. Anybody got any guesses yet, Renee?
I was just going to tag her in it. Renee.
So this gentleman was considered to be somebody who is very calculated, very methodical. He has stalker personality, so he will literally stalk and observe his prey before he actually commits the murder. He has a couple of aliases that I'm not going to release yet.
Okay.
He started his career really, really young. In fact, like most of our traditional killers that we talk about, they seem to experiment around the 6 to 11-year-old age bracket. This gentleman started his career around 6 years old. Again,
6.
Six is always a leading number here with us. He, outside of being, methodical and calculated, he has exhibited extreme patience. So much so that he will wait. Good job, Doug. He will wait until the most opportune time before he will actually take his victim. He is most known for using knives, ropes, and hammers at his disposal. Pretty much a bash 'em and slash 'em kind of fella.
What you gonna do with that hammer, Carl? Well, I'm fixing to kill you with it.
Listen, mustard and biscuits.
I had to. It was perfect opportunity.
It really was.
The sling blade in there.
So our killer, actually, when he was younger, excuse me while I get situated here. He was.
I'm gonna have to pop my window open a little bit. Too much incense. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
There we go.
Let out some of the smoke.
Oh.
All right. So, at 6 years old, we obviously had stated already that he had started the beginning of his career.
Right.
Due to, schizophrenia, probably some other mental conditions going on. They're not all disclosed, unfortunately.
Right.
He was admitted quite a few times to a psychiatric hospital. released. One time he escaped. He has, don't take this the wrong way, a really impressive resume when it comes to his serial killing.
Okay.
In fact, I know that we had also stated that we were only going to do small times, but this gentleman that we are talking about probably exceeds a good breadth of people when it comes to his killings. Ooh, I stumped Renee. It is not him.
Anybody got a calendar?
Keep guessing.
That's your girl.
He is known to be still alive, if that gives an additional hint.
Okay.
In fact, one of the doctor's statements was, I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding. I stared at his blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes. We call them the devil's eyes.
Bundy just popped in my head. It ain't Bundy.
Totally not Bundy. Totally not Bundy. He went on to say that he spent 8 years trying to reach him and yet another 7 to help keep him locked up.
Kind of like a certain movie that comes on around every Halloween.
Kind of like a certain movie.
Hmm.
Could
Michael
it be?
Myers.
Michael Myers. You got it.
Are you curious?
In homage to Halloween, folks, I did a lot of investigations on all of the Michael Myers films. Yes. So far,
I gotta write this down.
his date of birth is October 19th of 1957.
Okay, hang on. So we got 10, we got 2, 11, 13, no, 12, 21, 26, 33. That's a 6. He's a 6. His life number is a 6.
And he started at 6. He has 121 killings throughout his career. Now, little known fun fact. Did you know that the writer of the entire series that created the whole concept, right? The Michael Myers, was truly based on a 6-year-old boy he had met at a psychiatric unit, where he had literally said, I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank stare, pale, emotionless face, and the blackest eyes I have ever seen. They are known as the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him and another 7 trying to keep him locked up.
So how many years we're trying to reach?
8.
Okay, so 8 to reach and another 7 to keep locked up.
Yep.
Okay.
But as we all know, Michael Myers is still on the run because he keeps reappearing every Halloween.
Yes, he does.
So he was diagnosed as schizophrenic with a catatonic capability, meaning after he killed his sister, that was his first victim, was his sister. He then turned around and also killed his parents amongst babysitters and everything else. Obviously, there's 121 killings, and we're not going to go through all of them,
Right?
because it's all cinematography. You can look it up.
So that whole series was based on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude's still alive.
Except for the murders part. So this little 6-year-old kid
Right.
hasn't committed a thing back in the time of when this story came around. Now, if you imagine, the film was released October 19th, 57, which is technically Michael Myers' date of birth.
Mm-hmm.
this gentleman, having met a psychiatry patient before that at 6 years old, obviously this took place a little bit ago. But when you have somebody who is mute, catatonic, they won't talk, that's actually what started the whole series of sequence for this gentleman to write all of this out. His face, was related to that of the mask. It never moved.
Okay.
It showed no expression, and the eye holes were always dark. They were dark and unseeing.
I can relate to that.
That was his adaptation to best describe the catatonic state. It is said whatever happened to this little boy, they didn't give a lot of detail. Again, some people have to be careful with, HIPAA violations. That's a new thing, but not completely new.
Sure.
You got to pay some respect to the people that are going through these things. In fact, when the news released all the information about, my two clients, I just thought it was completely wrong that they completely disclosed this kid's diagnosis and all of that. It was just really sad. Like being a pharmacy representative in the medical field, nobody ever wants their things talked about.
No,
So, we go back to the basic concept of how fragile is a human mind.
Very.
You can only get pushed so far to a certain degree before that proverbial snap just happens.
Right. So do they know what made this kid snap like this?
The 6-year-old or
6-year-old?
No, they don't. They know he was schizophrenic. Back then medicine and technology wasn't all that it is today. Sadly, there's really not a whole lot at disposal when it comes to, mental health patients. And during those times, you're talking about electroshock therapy or various other methods that are just completely inhumane.
Yeah, they just lock you up and experiment on you.
Yeah. And so when that proverbial snap happened, he was mute. They couldn't get that kid to talk for nothing.
Okay, so they have no idea.
Nope. None.
So he could have had some kind of paranormal episode.
Absolutely.
That really blew his mind. They just put him for possession.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Right. So the 6-year-old at one point did escape from the psychiatric hospital. When he did, he wasn't 6. Obviously, he had aged up a bit at the point of him sneaking out of the psychiatric hospital. When he did, though, he had grabbed the janitor's outfit, which is why you see Michael Myers donning the mechanic's blue, overalls, essentially. Yeah. Because that is exactly what he had taken to get out. They have, at that point, he had been recaptured because when you're a mental patient and all of that, your first reaction is usually, we're going to go home.
Uh-huh. Now, just for clarification real quick, this kid's name was actually Michael Myers?
No.
Okay.
Michael Myers is completely made up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Renee, I just threw up a couple guesses that Renee had, so. Did you see him?
I did. They don't disclose this kid's name.
Okay.
That it's loosely based off of. So it's not based necessarily off of him, but he was the reason that creative drive was even there. As the writer had said, I saw this kid and it's an image that'll stick with me until the day that I die.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't unsee, 6-year-olds are supposed to be bubbling with life and playful and cheerful and happy, and basically to find one in a catatonic mute state, that kind of break your soul a little bit.
Absolutely.
I would feel. So yeah, He doesn't release his name, I'm sure, out of respect. However, Michael Myers, as a great guess, does anybody know his middle name? Because he has one.
Is it Alan?
Close.
Alex?
You are just like so in the ballpark, it's not even funny.
Alec.
It starts with an A.
Okay. Two syllables? Dude. Adam.
Actually, it is 2 syllables. Audrey.
Audrey?
Audrey. Michael Audrey Myers.
I never got that. I saw the A, but I couldn't get.
Do you know what city he actually resided in Illinois?
No.
Haddonfield.
Oh, Haddonfield. Okay, yes.
Yep.
That's in the movie.
Yep. Boom. There's Renee. There she is.
Yep,
Audrey.
Got it.
So yeah, I just had to throw it out there. I thought it would be a fun little thing to do. Somebody who's real yet not real. A lot of people watch movies, watch shows, and they think, never realizing what actually has driven the writer to create that story. Stephen King is a great example of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that mind's just twisted.
He's got one hell of an imagination, let me tell you what.
Yeah. And actually, did you know that Stephen King, when he did press releases, everybody will ask him, hey, what's the basis of your books? Like, how do you come up with your concepts? And I think you and I have discussed this before. Mm-hmm. Do you know what he writes all of his books off of?
Dreams.
It's
like somebody higher saying, hey, here's an idea, put that out.
If he's had a dream. I mean, that's how The Shining came to be. He went and stayed at the hotel. He was in a complete slump, writer's block, as most love to call it. That's quite fun, let me tell you. But he'll have a dream. Oh, I definitely will, Renee. He has a dream, and then boof, he just takes that one nugget of dreamland and creates a whole story around it, or not even just a story, sometimes freaking trilogies. I mean, this guy's just, and every book, if you've ever noticed with Stephen King, they all are connected. Every single one of them has a thread that connects them.
See, I haven't noticed that yet.
Yeah. So a good portion of them are all based in Derry, Maine, which is realistically where he's from. I've stood in front of his house. It's beautiful. He is a normal guy. He is the guy that will walk out the door in his jogging pants and be like, hey, how's it going?
Cool.
He is the most humble of people that I have ever encountered.
Well, that's the way it should be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I just saw that, Peggy. You're absolutely right. It's crazy.
I had no idea about that either. I don't even think Jeff put that out.
Yeah, as I was digging up all of these movie facts about Halloween, and I had to go through each story by sequence to try to phase it all together. So I'm just not a big horror buff.
Yeah.
I'm weird. I can sit there and watch all of these, investigative shows about death and everything else, but I don't watch movies about it. I'm weird.
Yeah, not really. I don't watch that kind of stuff anymore either, you know.
Yeah, it's just not a thing.
If I watch TV, I'm on Gaia trying to learn something, or I'm on Netflix watching, right now I'm binge watching Lucifer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I should be, because I'm seeing a lot of similarities.
Yeah. But yeah, so the whole point to mentioning that was, as I was going through everything, there's a lot of actual fandom references to where they relate some of how Michael's murders are based on the similarity of Jack the Ripper,
Really?
who is also known to be, or speculated to be,
H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes. Yeah.
That's interesting. I never knew that.
It's very interesting. His alias, though, in case anybody was ever up for a little trivia, this pays off on Applebee's trivia nights where they're letting out dollar margaritas in the summer. Michael Myers' original alias is, he is the original boogeyman.
Okay.
He has various other names that he goes by, but the boogeyman is one of the top ranked, because he is so stalkerish in nature. Like, if you reflect back on the films, I mean, he doesn't go just straight in for the kill. He's certainly no Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
He
If he's
calculates.
and are watching you,
Yep.
and he's watching
And in case nobody noticed, because he has a catatonic diagnosis, that is why, or it's explained as to why, he always walks after his victims. He never runs because he suffers from catatonia.
Okay.
Which I've never understood for all of my years why somebody can't escape a non-running killer, but welcome to LA, folks. I mean,
slow and steady wins the race.
right? That's what they say, right? So yeah, so Michael Myers was our guy. I obviously wanted to talk about my hometown, pay some respects or give some light to the gal, that I knew that had suffered a fate that she didn't deserve. To be fair, I don't think her son deserves it either, but
Right.
life is what it is at this point. These things take on a whole different meaning when it's somebody that you know.
Absolutely.
And you sit there, and a lot of people from the outside can say, how could you do that? How could anybody be so morbid or grotesque or whatever? My heart really goes out to my former coworkers, actually.
Oh, sure.
Having to witness something of that magnitude.
Yeah. Deal with it. That wouldn't be easy.
No, not for anyone. But yeah, I had to give a little Halloween fun. Yep. And that's actually one of his aliases. The Shape. That's I know that came up in my plethora of research that I had to sit here and do, and I thought, what would be fun? Something for the Halloween season. I don't mean to detract from the seriousness of what we're building, but it's Halloween. You can't resist.
Right. Right. That's awesome. You picked an awesome one tonight. You had me stumped.
Not really. You're the one who guessed it, dude.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
I mean, out of anyone, you were just like, sounds like a movie that comes out every Halloween. Don't worry, I had some references in there where I was gonna disclose all of that later. Yes. Next week, however, is a different story.
Okay.
Next week is a current and ongoing case, and
not solved yet.
No, it's solved. There's charges. It's just not finalized.
Okay, so it's ongoing.
Yep. In fact, one of the problems that they're running into is that they cannot find jurors that are unbiased.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So therefore, they would not get a very fair trial. I'm sorry, Renee. I had to get you. I had to do it. And in fact, that's really funny because as I was putting all this together, I was like, what should I say and what shouldn't I say? Because Renee's going to figure it out in a hot minute.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I needed the giggles.
Me too. It's been a rough week. Rough week. I'm sure you all get that.
It has been.
Full moon, Halloween, the veil is super thin.
Oh, man.
I mean,
full moon energy hitting, and it's.
Yep.
I've been sitting downstairs on the basement floor going tote after tote after tote of decades worth of things that I've kept. Kids' homework, little baby hats,
Yeah.
artwork. I found out I still have things from my first marriage that I didn't realize I still had. I'm going through the kid stuff. Like, oh, okay, I need to learn something about this. And as I'm going through all this stuff, I'm looking at it and I'm realizing a lot of stuff that happened back then. You blamed on the kid for not getting out of bed. Guess what? Those days I didn't get out of bed either. It wasn't all his fault. Dad's to blame for some of it. But dad was also the one I had till, when, working and then up in the morning and in school and doing homework. So, I mean, there's kind of a balance there, but, I still got to take responsibility for where it goes. Keith back then didn't.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we missed the last 2 weeks. My apologies. The energy has been just off the charts. So things have been going on.
Yep.
We did promise a special guest speaker. So I don't know if you want to reach out and see if that guest speaker is available to hop on while we have some time.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Remind me which guest speaker.
Mustard and biscuits. And hopefully.
Did you give him a heads up?
No, but I think it would be okay.
Okay, message sent.
All right, we'll see what we get.
And I figured out that if you don't try to tag the person in the message line, it goes through a lot faster.
Oh, really?
Tag them in the person line instead of the message line, it goes through a lot faster.
I guess I never analyzed that. Originally, I'm going to just give this up because I had a couple of ideas that I was frolicking in between for tonight. Michael Myers seemed to obviously fit because Halloween. I mean, duh, no brainer. However, I was going to hit Maul Dyer.
Hit what?
Maul Dyer.
I don't know who that is.
You sure do. She is the gal that has an impression on a rock up on the East Coast.
Okay.
who we are actually trying to, I haven't started it yet, but do some lineage searching to see if there's any connection between her and I.
The one who was healthy during the cold and the famine, while everybody else was cold and starving, she was warm and healthy, and so they called her a witch. Chased
Yep.
her out. She fell, and her hand was laid on a rock, and her handprint was imprinted into the rock.
Yep. And it's actually still there. It's up on display. They've never moved that rock
Well,
because
I thought
they're
they had it in
afraid.
front of the sheriff's station or something for a while.
Yeah, they're afraid of the superstition around it and being witch. Is there a curse? Could be. Nobody knows what those last intentions were spoken to be.
Right. And this is really strange because, I kind of think like a prepper. Save your seed for the next year. Can your veggies. Have plenty of toilet paper in the attic. Especially now, you might want to get some with the second round of COVID coming on. Just saying, go buy a pack of toilet paper, but don't take 20. Just saying.
Look at Renee's comment.
You cannot make this up.
No, Renee, there is something. There's got to be a link between the two of us. I'm telling you what, girl. If you have any Winchester ties or Pardee ties, let me know because that is my direct blood descendant.
Party?
Pardee. That was Sarah's original last name before she was married to be a Winchester.
I'm related to Parties somewhere down the road.
Yep. Pardee's with E, not with an I.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. People get so used to calling her Sarah Winchester, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she originally was Sarah Pardee. You cannot believe my freaking luck when I did my father's whole ancestral genealogy when I came across that. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I started cross-referencing. Sure enough, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, we got to get that done. I got to get mine done too.
I love genealogy. Love it.
We should make a weekend out of that sometime.
Once I start, I don't stop. That would be like an all-nighter.
So I said a weekend. You could be on your laptop. I can be on my laptop. Up here in the office, there's plenty of room. Me doing mine, you doing yours.
There she is. Look at that. Born and raised New Haven. Yep.
But getting back to what I was saying, she had plenty of firewood, set up and put away. Some people kept it inside under the floorboard, back then. Keep it dry.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was the food stores, in the basement or cellar. Maybe she was just well prepared and, the citizens didn't see it that way. Oh, she's got to be a witch.
Oh, yeah.
That's too bad. And I can actually kind of understand how her handprint could be implanted into the rock. You figure you're running for your life. You're scared shitless. You got all that energy, all that your fight or flight going.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the words I want to use, but all that's going through you, and then you fall, and your hand hits that rock, and it slaps down on that rock. Boom! Instant energy transfer. Melts it. Doesn't heat it, just melts it.
Just impresses.
I did the same thing with a Budweiser bottle one night, sitting at my computer downstairs. I put my thumb into it. I was having a really bad night, and I just, it's like I concentrated all my energy into the tip of my thumb. And before I knew it, my thumbprint is embedded into that bottle. I still have it. I asked Steve how I did that because I didn't understand it. So he took another bottle and he did it. He's like, it's like this.
It's like the Matrix and the spoon.
Matrix and the spoon?
Yeah, the movie The Matrix.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is it
I'm
your mind or is it the actual spoon?
Both are made of energy. Well, it looks like our guest isn't hopping on, so
I see that. Well, does anybody want to talk about anything else? Who's carving pumpkins? Or who has already? Because I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball too. And I haven't decided if I'm going to carve mine or not yet. It's just me. Um, I was supposed to play bouncer at the bar, but the owner got sick. The karaoke dude canceled. So they're not even sure what's going on yet. So
Mm.
we're no longer needed. Um, but so far it's just me here. And I don't know if I'm going to stay home or not.
Yeah, I'm supposed to drum up a costume for tomorrow, and I don't know. Doing the haunted house thing with my cousins. I've got plenty at my disposal, but I just am not feeling. I'm not feeling it this year. I'm
I
really
was
not.
a month ago. I got all hyped up for it.
Hmm.
But right now, I
It
just need
just
to do,
feels like an ordinary day.
it does. It really does. Um, I'm I don't think there's going to be that many trick or treaters because of everything going on.
Hmm.
It's just going to be another day. I hate to say, at least for me anyway. Um, so I'll probably just work in the garage.
I
Leave front
mean,
porch.
Virginia not really trick or treating. Let's just say that's not a bad thing for me because she doesn't eat candy, but I do.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, I would nail the Reese's and stuff like that.
Heath bars, milk
Keith bars.
duds.
Keith bars.
I love my toffee. Boom. Yes. Girl, we need to get to her.
I should just invite her on for just a few minutes, if nothing else.
Renee, what are you thinking? You want to come on tonight or you want to come on next Thursday? Do some live reveal reactions, I suppose, if you want to go with next week.
If nothing else, it would help me identify whether or not I can bring on more than 2 people.
Is that pudding?
No, it's a neighbor's dog, Lily. She's awful quiet. Oh, yay!
Do it. Yes. As
Yes.
we do that at the same time.
Twinning. All right, here we
Speaking
go.
of the whole twinning thing, we, to give a little tip off, we do have a radio show tomorrow night. Is it on the Rift Radio Network?
Yes.
Give it a little plug there. We'll obviously have the links posted up on the pages, but we will be live talking with those folks again. This is a continuation from last week. So, yeah. Exactly,
It
Pam.
was,
Exactly.
the show's called Just This Short of Crazy. Renee Odell Hart and Jim, I'm blanking on his last name, but we had a good time. We talked about a lot of different things, and I think there was enough stuff that Renee wanted to talk about. We didn't get to it, so yeah, we're going to continue it tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, we had quite a few verifications happening, and it was good. It was a good show. It was a great way to just short of crazy show that we're just short of crazy, I suppose.
Absolutely. Pam, hey Pam, she's got a good point.
Oh, absolutely. It's all
Yeah,
congealed
absolutely.
together, girl.
Yeah, everything combined is just, now if I had kids here, if the grandkids were here, you damn right. I got one pumpkin out of the garden, one good sized pumpkin. Finally, okay. It's in my kitchen on the floor. Damn right we'd be carving that thing. But I'm probably just going to dig the seeds out of it and toss it in the compost.
Hey, that's what I'm doing after this. We's gutting a
So,
pumpkin.
Renee, all you gotta do is I sent you a link in Messenger. So just go to Messenger, click on that link. It'll bring you over to here. I click a button and you pop on screen.
Voila.
Voila.
Voila. What's up?
Voila. Peanut butter sandwiches. Homage to Sesame Street there.
One.
Pam says, hey, it's 7:55.
Oh yeah, like my next infusion. It's so funny. I meant to message you, and it's 11:11 at 5 o'clock.
That's my birthday, girl.
Right. So at 5 o'clock, hey,
All right.
Pam,
All
I
right.
hear that, girl. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know if I'm ready. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. At this point,
Exactly.
with
And
everything,
yeah, we don't
there's
usually.
just so much hate going on. It's unreal.
It is. It really is. Hang on. Wait, you ready?
Boom.
There she
Hi.
is.
What's up?
Nothing. How are you guys?
Short, long, and pretty.
Yes, I am too.
Just don't look at the hair. It's a mess
I got
tonight.
some grace.
No, mine's a mess too. Not fair. You got me. Not fair.
I'm loving it. I am. I was just
Yeah,
kidding.
it was good though. It was good to do something not, real per se.
Yeah, not traditional. And I know that's
Yep.
why I was like,
Yep.
"Ooh, I'm gonna be careful with how many clues I let out."
Absolutely.
I even told Keith, I'm like, I'm not gonna give you enough clues so that you can't Google it. So
Oh,
he would not
definitely.
be able to hop onto his laptop and be like,
Exactly.
and of course he got it anyways.
Of course he did.
I was just kind of BS and it's like, well, it kind of sounds like a movie. And then I'm like come on.
And I'm sitting there going, we just watched that the other day, and I'm going, what? Could it be? And I'm like, no.
No,
So.
she wouldn't do that.
No.
Trick or
yes,
treat.
you did. That is funny.
It was.
All right.
But yeah, but
too cool.
But the dyers I have are from Maine.
Really?
Yes.
All
So
right.
and born and raised in New Haven. She's in Winchester is Sarah. She's buried in Evergreen, and also in that cemetery is Bloody Mary.
Yep.
Really?
So
which everybody believes to be an urban legend, by the way.
Yes. And my mother's like, oh, I used to go to that place and go hang out all the time. And I'm like, oh.
Renee, that's why we're so weird.
Of course.
There's actually a factual person behind the Bloody Mary story.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Boom.
A lot of these urban legends are always spurned from an event of an actual person.
Okay.
Watch more Supernatural, my friend.
I've watched it all. I should probably sit back and watch it again.
Rewatch it, I think.
You know, a lot of the quote critters that they have on there, team-wise, they're real and they're out there, and that's what we go take out. And people think we're nuts saying that. Sure, go ahead, think we're nuts till you start having the activity.
And do your homework, yeah. I mean,
always do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
What did we get out of your backyard?
Wendigo, yeah.
What did we use to get it out of the backyard?
Its mate.
Another Wendigo. She had a girl. There was a boy out at the lake who I kind of made a deal with. It's like, look, you let me fish here without screwing with me, I will start picking up the trash and keeping it clean. All right. So I go out there one night and like, guess what I found? You might like this. He's like, All right, get me there.
Hook
Well, and
me up.
and we've got a
Keith.
park right next door, so it was totally energy feeding just right off of all of that.
Yeah.
And not for nothing. I mean, this park is a memorial park. So not only, just to give you a little history on my place, not only is it a memorial park, but it's a memorial park because this was farmland that they had developed. And we didn't know it until they were getting to like rezone the houses and the lots because all of the zones were wicked off. In fact, like our front yard was technically park property, and then our front yard realistically was the neighbor's front yard. It all just went at an angle. It was so strange. So they were rezoning, resetting everything. And then it came out, the city actually was involved. We're not a very big little city. It's La Vista here in Nebraska. It's very tiny. Okay, well, it's not all that tiny, but it's tiny enough. At the time, it was tiny. But it all came up for a vote because they found the farmer's burial plot just at the very end of our property line in the park. And so the decision was, do we pick them up and move them to hollowed ground, or do we leave these graves undesecrated because that is where they chose to bury their loved ones? And,
Yeah.
It came up to vote. I was just a kid. But I remember my parents and them all being in favor of leaving them there. So actually those graves are still right on the back property line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now we add Keith as the matchmaker to his list of everything. See, and that's that's weird because I was looking at property up in Maine, and it comes with a cemetery in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have nobody that wants to be a caretaker for it. And my mother goes, no, please no, because we know what you do with unrested spirits. I'm like, yeah, I talk. So
these conversations, they're logical.
Conversation, come on.
Does it pay to be the caretaker of the cemetery?
No, I just felt bad because there's just, maybe ancestors of mine or someone's ancestors, and they're not getting taken care of, and it's just to make sure that they're respected and loved. That's how I look at it and think.
We have a very old cemetery close to town that actually it's completely off limits because kids these days like to go out there and get hammered and just wreak havoc. But it was real unfortunate, and I volunteered me in my truck to help out. But somebody went over there literally, we're talking stones from like 1800s. It was an old family plot. And they completely tipped and desecrated these sites. It's just sad. It's like, what is the point?
Yeah, that happened here. Blue Springs. Okay, I'm in Wymore. Blue Springs is a town a mile north. Just outside of Blue Springs, a little while on the road. You take a left. You drive through a field, and there's this old cemetery, fenced in. You can see the depressions. The gravestones missing. They're toppled over. They're busted. We know who did it. They didn't get what they should have. I'm just going to leave it there. I almost hope they watch this somehow. Time.
Yeah.
Maybe you ought to go out there and apologize.
Karmic retribution is a thing.
Yep, and it's coming.
Sure is. That frickin' rubber band has been drawn back for a while now, and it is ready to go.
I think it's not going to be too long. And this actually ties in with me walking away from City Council. Like I said, I hope it's a lesson for everybody. I hope that I'm their lesson. When I asked Spirit, when I went out to the lake and I talked to Spirit, I said, this is where I'm at. This is how I feel. This is what they're taking from me, my peace, my sanity. I was going dark. Keith can't go dark. That's not good. It's not good at all.
No,
Um,
Keith Dark gives Michelle lots of headaches.
And Michelle already has enough headaches.
Yes. Yes, I do.
I was told what to do, how to do it, what to say, when to do it. Like, okay. I needed to shut that door. When I shut that door, that I think opened up a door to a hallway with more doors going down the hallway. They're still shut. But I think with some of the work that I'm doing right now, the personal stuff I'm doing right now, I think some of those doors might open.
Well, yeah, you're putting in your work.
Yeah, being on city council, every first and third Wednesday, I got to be here in town. Now I don't. I got my full-time job.
You got your full-time team.
I think some doors are going to open. I'm praying. We'll see. Patience. Time will tell.
Yes, Michael Myers. Patience.
Pays off, doesn't it?
Sure does.
In the long run, sure does.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things my grandmother always used to say, patience, patience, patience. It's a virtue. And if
It
you
is a
have it,
virtue.
just wait.
Yep.
Absolutely. Renee, what's going on your side of the little
Our-
pond there?
Oh, I just froze. Not much.
Understand, Pam.
Did I freeze again?
Yeah.
So not really anything in particular, in Connecticut. Democratic state. Oops, did I say it out loud?
Whoops.
Whoop. So it's going. We're dealing with the critter, the bug, and the Backstreet Boy reunion. So
There was a buzz.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
your phone.
it might have been my phone. Oh, I think it was me.
I'm so
Okay.
used to when I'm talking to Keith, I can literally always hear that in my ear. So I'll know that somebody's messaging him. Whereas before it used to be this beautiful little message of help me, I'm stuck in your pocket.
Yeah, and then I got a new phone and that went away. It bugged the hell out of my boss. He thought it was really creepy, especially with me being on the paranormal team and all. So I think I'm going to re-download it, at least for a
Yes.
Oh, see, look, it's my phone. Look at this, me. All these people, must be all my friends going, what are you doing on the computer? Who are you talking to?
You're
I'm
doing
like,
something. We want in.
Exactly.
Tell
I
him to
told
jump.
everybody I'd be famous one day.
Go. Tell him to jump on and find out what you're doing, what you're talking about.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Well, I tell everybody. I tell a bunch of my coworkers at work. I said, you gotta on Thursday night. You gotta come, and then you'll understand me.
Right.
And then maybe I don't know. Maybe that's why so many people might be scared of me.
See, I'm so quiet at work that I think that they don't expect me to do this kind of thing. So when I do this, they're like, don't talk to her. She knows way too many facts.
She's one of those weird ones. Stay away.
Renee hit on a good point. Thinking about or talking about how she put it just went out of my head. Okay, that's how hard this is hitting me. Letting people know what she's like. Okay, well, I'm partaking in this, kind of hosting the show. You're the one, Michelle, that knows about all these serial killers. I have a little bit of knowledge about a couple. Okay, you know your shit. Renee knows her shit. But what I know is what's went through here. And the more I'm thinking, the more I'm digging back through my past, I also found things from my childhood. If my path went any differently, you might be sitting here talking about me. And I'm not kidding.
Or I might not be.
It's not a good thing for Keith to go dark. So Keith has to put boundaries up. Keith has to take care of Keith. And I rely heavily on Michelle for that. Steve, Holly.
We'll denozo you anytime you need it, honey.
Oh,
Anytime.
I
Sadly.
go that deep and dark. It's going to take more than a denozo. Just saying.
Usually, I will say that when you hit those moments, though, you have an amazing way of actually working through it to find your way back. So I never really have to sound off any alarms.
I do. I've learned. I know the signs, and I know when to walk away from something. And like I said, the city council, all the BS. I can't legally say all the BS. I really want to, but I'm not going to. It's a shit show, and I'm done. And it's a weight off my shoulders. I'm almost like a happy camper. So it's just, I was a totally different person when I joined. In fact, the people actually elected two things, me and something else. If they realized that, they'd be crapping their pants. A lot of them don't.
If they haven't already.
Yeah. A lot of people haven't seen my show. They don't know. They know something happened, but they didn't watch the show. So they don't know my story. It's just each week I'm seeing more and more parallels with the ages and the numbers and the habits of these serial killers. And it's almost a little unnerving, but I got this. I reached out for help. I got the help. I'm good.
See, and I had the pleasure of knowing you while it was going on, while you were getting help, and after. And I mean, dude, you've come so far.
Thank you.
I don't think I tell you that enough, but you've really come.
I'm not
miles. Okay.
Same person I used to be. I'm still getting to know myself. I am still getting to know who I am. Because when Steve came up and the spirit mechanics came up, after the dead files sent them up here, Steve yanked that thing out. I lost half my memories, 3/4 of my memories. Gone. Done. Gone.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing how, like, when something happens that to you like that, and then when they yank it out of you, it's amazing what you lose when it's gone.
Yeah.
I used to be able to play the saxophone. I was first, second chair all the time. Bob Seger, get on there and wail. I can barely play Mary Had a Little Lamb now. I'm going to have to, I bought another saxophone.
I can attest to that. He really does have it.
I can't play it. My spelling, it's atrocious. Thank God for spell check. Otherwise, the grammar Nazis would be all over me on every post. It's just amazing. My childhood memories, poof. It's like I'm just here all of a sudden. So this thing hit me at 6, and I'm just gonna say it's about 2 3/4 years since it's been removed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be 51. So from 6 to 50 or 48.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, okay, it's been 3 years, so 6. So I guess my birthday, I'm going to be 9.
And we treat him as such. I'm kidding. We so don't.
And I'm just gonna say this numbers. I'm 42, so 4 plus 2 is 6, and my life number is 9.
369.
369. There it is.
369.
I knew it was gonna come out tonight. Every freaking show we have this sequence.
Yeah.
People need to look at that.
Every show.
I'm not going to explain it. People got to go do their homework.
That's true. That's what he says to me too. I'm going to tell you this, but then you need to go do your homework and learn. Okay.
Well, at least most of the time, and I do say most of the time because I do catch myself doing it sometimes. At least I don't go all cryptic like Steve does and
Oh, goodness
big
gracious.
gigantic puzzle. But that's how he has to do it for me because I have to see it, and he knows that. If he just tells me, I'm like, no, I got to see it. I got to figure it out. He's like, okay, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's the truth of it.
He told me one time, you're looking for an orchid and you should be looking for lotus. It took me a long time to figure that one out.
Oh my God, I don't even think I'd be able to do
It took me a long time to figure that one out. And another very special friend helped me figure that one out, and I don't even think she knows she did. She made a post about a locust. Every year I have a locust that comes visit me on the front porch. In fact, he's right over here because he gave his message, and it took all of his energy to give that message. So he has a permanent place in my office.
Oh my God. Did I ever tell you my locust story?
I don't think so.
I was such an idiot growing up. I was the definition of dumb blonde cheerleader. My family had a cabin out in Fremont, and every weekend we'd go up. And so we get out, and I hear just this terrible screaming, and I see this splashing in the water. I'm like, oh my God, I'm an animal lover. So I full clothes, everything, haul ass into the lake. And the guy that I was dating at the time, he was like, what are you doing? I'm like, a baby duck is drowning. And so I'm running to this thing, right? And then I see that it's a locust, and I have an extreme phobia of bugs. Charlie can attest to that when the Beatles were dive bombing us at his house. I can't handle it. I don't kill them, but I can't handle it. So then I realized that it wasn't an animal, that it was a locust screaming in the water, and I backpedal out of the water really quick. And my boyfriend at the time looked at me and said, were you really that stupid to think that baby ducks weren't born to swim?
That crossed through my head too, and I wasn't gonna correct, but I do need to correct something because Spirit just said this is not a locust, this is a cicada.
A cicada.
Locusts are what's sent for plagues, the grasshoppers. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was an actual locust. It was ridiculous. Oh, me. That's just as bad as the time that, dumb cheerleader. The football player said, hey, watch where you walk. A dog obviously pooped on the field. So here I am tiptoeing across the whole football field to get to where we needed to be. And then same boyfriend at the time said, sweetheart, you realize that they aerated the field. That's where they put little holes and pull up dirt clods. But not before he let me look like a moron doing it.
Understand.
Yeah.
Understand.
That is me. Or was. That was me. I was the ding dong. So, yeah. Well, I have some pumpkin carving I have to do with a particular little girl.
I've got a transmission and a transfer case to drop in a vehicle.
A 12-year-old who needs to go to bed.
There you go.
See?
All right. So we stumped Renee.
Not fair.
I'm almost proud of that fact.
Me too.
Well, actually, I shouldn't be really. I mean, I was a little mad, but I'm like, you know what? I don't think anybody in a very long time has done that with the knowledge that's up here.
Keith, mark it down.
Right?
I think it may be time in my life. 3.
3.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you very much.
Peggy.
Thank you, everybody who tuned in. Thank you for giving us your attention and your time. Thank you for those who will be watching this in the future. Hope you enjoyed it. We just kind of get on here to have some fun and throw out a little knowledge. So thank you very
Next week will
much.
be the real deal, I promise.
There we go. Next year we'll get back to a real person, not a movie. But that was, Michelle, your idea tonight was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Well,
welcome.
I'll say that. Yes, it was.
All right. Thank you very much. And we're going to log off. Have a good evening.
Good night, folks.
Good night, guys.